see. Okay, so we're going to let people start coming in. We'll let them take a couple of minutes to join us. Okay, so as people are coming in, we'll briefly introduce what is Take a Virtual Vacation. This is a weekly webinar that we are hosting during the coronavirus shutdown, pandemic, stay-at-home orders, whatever you want to call it. We were going a little stir crazy, and we were trying to figure out how we could go on vacation without leaving our houses. And this is what we came up with. Once a week, we go to a different destination. We're now, I think, on like our 10th week or so. And this is just kind of what we're doing to stay sane. And we're taking you along with us. Who we are, it's 4 travel agents that have come together and partnered on this. Myself, I'm Susan Schaefer. I own Ships and Trips Travel here in Middle Tennessee. And we also have Maria Stephanopoulos.
Hello.
That's Maria. She owns Ingenious Travel in the greater Tampa Bay area of Florida. And then not with us today, but also partnering with us on this are Barbara Oliver. And she owns All Together Now Travel in Southern California. And Gail Sherman, also in California, owns Wine Lovers Travel. And so the 4 of us are the ones who brought this together and decided that we wanted to take you virtually somewhere every week. And where you can find us is on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, and it's really hard to find. It's called Take a Virtual Vacation, and that's the link for it. You also can find me and Maria in Meetup. We both started what we called Eat, Drink, Travel. She's in the greater Tampa Bay area. I'm in Middle Tennessee. We're also going to have one started shortly in Detroit. Probably going to have some coming to California. And, as this grows, we'll probably have other Meetup locations as well. But this, these are the places online where you can find out our future travel locations. Like, for example, next week we're going to Italy. And also in the Facebook group, and we have a YouTube channel called Take a Virtual Vacation. You can find the past recorded sessions of our past destinations that we've already gone on vacation to. So with that, I am going to introduce today, our vacation is going to be dude ranches here in the US. And we have Bryce Street with the Dude Ranchers Association with us today to tell us what it's like to go on a vacation to a dude ranch. So take it away, Bryce.
Perfect. Thank you so much to Susan and Maria and the other 2 ladies as well. We're excited to be here today, and I'm excited to talk a little bit about Dude Ranch Vacations and what all they entail. So Dude Ranch Vacations, we'll kind of kick off with this fun little picture in the front here. This is a very common picture and a very common scene that you're going to see at any dude ranch. Being horseback, lots of smiles, kiddos, families, and some pretty incredible scenery. So the first question a lot of people ask is, what is a dude ranch? Not a lot of people know, and it's something that I think everybody should know about. It's a fantastic vacation destination, but a dude ranch is the original Western adventure vacation. The first dude ranch was actually started in the 1880s by 2 brothers in Medora, North Dakota. That ranch has actually now kind of transferred over. They owned a lot of land between North Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming. And that ranch actually now still is operating. It's in its 140th year of operation as a dude ranch in Wyoming. And they kind of spurred the movement for the dude ranch industry. So what a dude ranch did back in the 1880s and the early 1900s was it allowed visitors to come to actual working ranches and live the life of a cowboy. So what that meant is they were participating in the everyday chores, activities, and adventures that cowboys lived on a day-to-day basis. So that included riding horses, working cattle, and maybe fixing fence, picking up eggs out of the chicken coop. It all just depended on the ranch. But that also gave them the opportunity to enjoy a relaxing vacation as well. They could be as involved or as uninvolved as they wanted. So visitors came from all over the world, but to originally start, they came from the East Coast, just because, it was something that people didn't really understand, that concept of going west. Um, During the gold rush and all that stuff, they understood going to this part of the country, but they didn't understand, when the dude ranches came around as to why they were going to do that, mainly because it was so far. But dude ranches are actually a huge market for European travel and overseas travel now, as well. Obviously not in 2020, but for some of our ranches, it's some of their biggest clientele. And even still, to this day, there's people that come from the western U.S. too to experience dude ranches, kind of in the cowboy country of Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, even down into Arizona as well. And these guests that came to these ranches, especially in the early 1900s into the 20s and 30s, um, it wasn't easy for them to get west. The railroads were just starting to be developed, or they came, the Continental Railroad was a huge driving factor for dude ranches and helped them boom greatly. But so many people came back year after year because of the sense of home that these ranches created. It was these people's homes that were hosting these guests, and therefore they wanted to be a part of that. And also, they viewed it as home because since they were coming such a long ways, many people, especially down in the southern ranches in Arizona, came for weeks to months at a time. And that was their getaway to get to some warmer weather or just away from their everyday life, which is pretty neat. Still something people do today. So the Dude Ranchers Association member ranches provide a highly sought after all-inclusive experience. That all-inclusive factor it's a very highlighted word in the travel industry, but it always has some underlying meanings of exactly what all-inclusive means. For DRA ranches, that means that meals, lodging, and most activities are included in one price. And that makes it just an even more highly sought after vacation destination because the planning is all taken care of. I do have a short video here to show everybody that'll kind of give you a good idea of life on the dude ranch and what it looks like to go vacation.
Discover the American wilderness that can only be seen by horseback and make memories that will last a lifetime. The Dude Ranchers Association invites you to experience the original Western adventure vacation. Share in the beauty of the wilderness and enjoy a taste of the authentic American West with horses, hats, history, heart, honesty, and hospitality about. Something for everyone. Take an all-ages vacation in our country's most awe-inspiring settings. Visit duderanch.org.
So I love that video. I think it gives a really good overview of what dude ranches are, and it highlights some very key points that are very important for dude ranch vacations. And what that is one thing that really pops out in that video is a vacation for all ages, because it really is. And you can see on the screen here the activities at a dude ranch are abundant, and this is only some of them. They don't all they're not all listed here, and not every ranch has all of these activities, but they do, have a majority of them. Horseback riding is the main activity on all dude ranches, especially DRA member ranches. But if you're not into horseback riding, or maybe a little timid to get on a 1,000+ pound animal, which we all understand, there's literally activities for any age. Kids programs that accommodate anywhere from infants, toddlers, all the way up to teenagers. There's so many outdoor activities that you just can't even imagine how much there is to do. And also, the more advanced activities as well for adults and whatnot, maybe the ATV rides, shooting sports has become a big thing in the last couple of years. So all of these activities, you're going to find on at least one DRA member ranch, if not multiple. And so, as you can see here, there's a reason that these are all-inclusive vacations, because this would be extremely expensive if it wasn't. And to go do each one of these activities within a week period. And also that's why they want your vacation to be longer than just one night, because you can't experience all of these activities in just a day. So the activities are abundant, and like I said, this is there's activities for absolutely every age at a Dude Ranch. A question we get all the time is food, and what's the food going to be like at a Dude Ranch? Well, it's going to be pretty much whatever you want it to be. We do have two kind of categories of food, I would say, within Dude Ranches, and that's kind of that ranch, Western, family style kind of food options. And then our luxury ranches offer maybe more of a gourmet, higher top of the line food, and especially wine pairings, which is very important too for whatever type of traveler. But the biggest thing is people are concerned about diets. And, they don't know if it's going to work into their diet or if they have special dietary accommodations. People always worry about that when going on vacation. The nice thing with Dude Ranches is these are booked early enough in advance, usually, that there's enough time to let the chefs and everybody else know ahead of time what your needs are and what your preferences are. And therefore, they're going to be able to accommodate that, which is really special. There's 3 meals a day that are included in your price, plus snacks available all the time. There's no chance you will go hungry at a Dude Ranch, that is for sure. They pride themselves on that. Something that's pretty cool about Dude Ranches that a lot of people I don't think know is that a lot of our ranches have farm-to-table programs. They grow a lot of their own food on property, and it's all certified enough to be able to be used in their kitchen. So here you're going to find some of the cleanest, healthiest, and most vibrant and abundant food that you're probably going to find at any all-inclusive destination, let alone any vacation destination. Like I mentioned, that ranch and Western type food is going to be found more at your working cattle ranches or your traditional Dude Ranches. And then your gourmet food is definitely going to be found at your kind of more luxury top of the line ranches that have the ability to just have that kind of nicer level of food and wine pairings. But irregardless, what you are going to find at Dude Ranches is top-notch chefs. There's no doubt that you're going to find some great chefs, and they're going to be cooking, everything to perfection. A lot of ranches will cook to taste and to preference, which is very important too for all types of travelers. Plus, if you look at any of these pictures, it all looks pretty fantastic, and I've had something of each of these at all of these ranches that these are featured from, and I can speak to this very, very good. Another question that we get frequently, because a lot of people just don't know, is where you're going to stay on a Dude Ranch. We sell the vacation ideas, the original Western vacation, and a lot of people think that might think you have to be staying in the bunkhouses with the cowboys, since you are going to live the life of a cowboy, but that's not true, unless you want it to be. So the nice thing about Dude Ranches, and something that's become very important, especially in 2020 during the whole COVID pandemic, is individual cabins and individual accommodations has been very important. And this is something ranches have. They have cabins that can house 2 guests or maybe 10 guests. It all just depends on the ranch and what their setup is. But the nice thing is you're going to have your own bathroom, you're going to have your own bedroom, sitting area, porch area, which is all very important as well, especially during social distancing times. Some ranches do have lodge rooms, and some even have houses, bigger houses for multi-generational families. Again, it always depends on the property and the availability, but it is something that is a possibility, which is very important. I mentioned kind of before why people pick Dude Ranches and why they're so important, and it really is because of that home-like atmosphere. And that comes a lot from your accommodations and the cabins that you're crawling into at the end of a very long day of either riding horses or participating in whatever activities you choose. But one thing you are going to find is, top of the line lodging industry standards are held through all of our cabins at our ranches, and you're going to find rustic Western chic decorations that are all really charming and very nicely decorated. And kind of touching more to the point of the rustic and luxurious type ranches, that's where you're really going to find your atmospheres. If you're wanting more of a traditional Western experience, your cabins are going to be a little more rustic. If you're looking for more of a luxurious experience that maybe has a spa on property, or you're definitely wanting maybe a little more top of the line accommodations, you're going to be looking at luxury ranches. But it is very important to clarify, and especially with travel agents and their clients, what exactly the clients are looking for, because we just want to make sure that we're getting you on the right property that is going to meet all of your clients or your expectations. But one thing that is always guaranteed, tried and true to Dude Ranch again, is that they're extremely clean. The cabins have to meet a certain set of guidelines again through our association of being clean, and especially in 2020, you know, the ranchers kind of hit the ground running in March. Some of them were already open, about, you know, taking many extra precautions. And, you know, they just established plans and everything else as to what needed to be handled. So, and as you can see in all these cabins, you're going to see kind of a range of what it all looks like. So, now that I've given you all the information on what happens at a dude ranch, where you're going to stay, what kind of food you're going to eat, is how the heck do you choose? Just alone in the Dude Ranchers Association, we have 97 member ranches. They're spread throughout the western United States, and we do have 3 in one Canadian province up in British Columbia. And there's a lot to choose from. It is a big, big undertaking, but this is a great list of questions to kind of help narrow your scope and help narrow down what ranches you're going to be looking at a little more closely. This is the ranch, or this is the list we actually use personally in-house, and it's pretty self-explanatory, all of these questions, but the biggest differentiator is you're going to be trying to figure out where you want to go. You know, 11 different states, that's a lot of different options. But if you decide what time of year you want to go, that's going to narrow your choices greatly. And then if you know what state you want to travel to, that's not going to be an issue, but you want to make sure that there's going to be ranches open in that area when you're wanting to travel. What type of horseback riding you want to participate in? I know this might sound like kind of a little bit of an interesting question, but there is different types of horseback riding. You know, if you're a very beginner and you've never been on a horse, you know, all of our dude ranches cater to beginner riders, but that also means that, you know, it's going to be more, maybe some slow rides to start, maybe being able to advance into some faster rides throughout the week. If you're not interested in riding in kind of a nose-to-tail format, we do have some working cattle ranches that allow you to maybe ride out a little more spread out and move cattle along the way, do a little more advanced riding, and kind of mix up the options as well, which is really neat. The other activities you're interested in besides horseback riding, and kind of pick from that list we had before, but making sure that your ranch has those activities is going to help you narrow your choices. This is a question that's really important this year, is the size of the ranch, because some people are concerned about group sizes and everything else, and you know, want to make sure you're within a comfortable number of people per each traveler. So the size of the ranch is going to help you obviously narrow it down. We have ranches anywhere from 8 guests all the way up to 200. So it all depends on what kind of range you're looking for. But no matter what size you do find, you're going to receive personalized attention and a really intimate experience that's going to be memorable for many years to come. And then obviously what kind of food and accommodations you're looking for. Like I mentioned before, that's really important, especially for when you're finding ranches for clients, because you want to make sure that that's meeting their correct expectations. But like I said, these lists help narrow everything down greatly. And, you know, if you are having a hard time struggling narrowing down the list, which we know can be very difficult sometimes because it can be very overwhelming, you might not be even just looking at ranches that are in our association. You may be looking at the hundreds of dude ranches across the U.S. You can always contact us, and we can kind of do this, you know, legwork for you and be able to recommend a very detailed list of ranches based on your criteria, and be able to provide a list that's going to help you more quickly decide what ranch you're going to visit. And so with that being said, we are a free service, which is very nice. We don't collect commissions. We don't charge anything. We are just here to promote dude ranches, which is our favorite part of our job. We love what we do. There's actually only 2 of us here in the office, and we've come to know these 97 ranches extremely well, and we visited many of them personally myself. I've been with the association about 2 years and have been to about 40 ranches. You know, the goal is to see all of them. It just all depends on timing. You know, I was telling Maria and Susan earlier that normally in the summertime we would be out on the road for a lot of the summer, but with everything going on, they kind of grounded us this year. But our plan is to see the rest of our ranches, through the years, and we visit them frequently. So being able to help pick the right vacation for clients, guests, everybody in between is our favorite part of our job. So why DRA ranches, and what does it mean to be a DRA accredited member? So a little background on the Dude Ranchers Association. This association was started in 1926. So we've been around for almost 100 years and preserving the Western heritage and the true idea of a Dude Ranch vacation and an original Western experience. So in order for ranches to become a member of our association, they go through a very rigorous process. They have to submit an application, and through that application process, which usually lasts for about 2 years, it's to ensure that they're treating their guests on these ranches to genuine Western hospitality combined with the lodging industry's highest standards. So we want to make sure that they are providing the best possible experience to their guests that is also within the guidelines and the realm of the DRA's founding principles and our morals and character. So also they have to be all-inclusive, like I mentioned before. That actually is a requirement for a ranch to be in our association, is they have to be all-inclusive to an extent. So they have to include, like I said, that meals, lodging, and most activities. Also, you're getting some great value for some very top-notch service. So also, like I mentioned, we're spread across the Western United States and Canada, but DRA member ranches are considered to be the best of the best dude and guest ranches in the Western U.S. and also into that Canadian province. They have to meet, like I said, a very certain set of guidelines, and those guidelines are reviewed every year. And each ranch is visited every 5 years by either myself or one of our board of directors for a quality assurance check to make sure that these ranches are still providing what they say they're providing and meeting DRA standards. So I talked a lot about the guidelines. I referenced that a lot. And, we don't have hard and fast rules anymore. There used to be hard and fast rules, but with times changing and travel patterns changing, the association thought it would be best to base their member ranches on a foundation of what they call the 6 H's, which are their founding principles and the ideas that summarize what we are as an association. And those 6 H's are horses, hats, hospitality, heritage, honesty, and heart. And they're all pretty self-explanatory, but horses have to be the central focus of every DRA member ranch. And that also means that their horses have to be taken care of, and their safety programs have to meet some quality checks as well, because without horses, there's not a Dude Ranch business. So we got to make sure that everything's being taken care of to the best of their ability. Hats are a Western icon, and so we always want to make sure our ranches are, displaying that Western icon with their hats. Cowboy hats all around. Hospitality, pretty self-explanatory. They just have to make sure they're meeting hospitality requirements throughout their states and the nation as well, but also making sure that they're creating an atmosphere that people really want to come to. Heritage, like I mentioned, the heritage of the DRA itself, let alone the Dude Ranch industry, is very strong, and it's our obligation and our responsibility to keep that Western heritage alive. And that's what each of our ranches does through their programs, which is very important. Honesty, this is one of our most important H's, and that is that our ranches are as good as they advertise. So that means that, whatever they have on their website and whatever they're displaying in their advertising means that when guests get to the ranch, they better be experiencing what they saw and what sold them on the idea. And then we also have heart, which means that they have to have a passion, and they do have to have a true love for this industry and what we do. And it's easy to say that all of our ranchers in our association right now do. They love what they do. They're multi-generational families that have been running these ranches for 25, 50, 100 years. It's pretty incredible, the heritage of everything. And to know what they do, we do have to know and feel that they really do love to be a part of this association and this industry. And with that being said, you can check out all of our member ranches at www.dudebranch.org. And if you have any questions specifically for us or about any specific Dude Ranches, you're more than welcome to contact us. Our information is here. I will provide this PowerPoint to the group so that you guys can have this for reference. But we're always here and happy to help wherever we can. And I would like to say thank you again to Susan and Maria and the entire group that puts on the Take a Virtual Vacation for reaching out to us and letting us be a part of this experience. We love to be able to showcase Dude Ranches in their best light, and they really are the perfect vacation destination for 2020.
Thank you, Bryce.
We appreciate that. Okay, so we have some questions. So we're going to get to our Q&A. Maria, do you have the questions?
One that came in during the presentation was, how far in advance would you recommend booking? You touched on that a little bit, but could you add to that a little bit, please?
Absolutely. So in a normal year, we can say 2020 has been anything but normal. We would recommend 6 to 9 months in advance booking, because especially if you have a certain week or a certain time that you can only go for this vacation, because the amount of return clientele that comes to these ranches is very abundant. It's a very large number, especially for the hospitality industry. But, you know, just making sure that you can square away all of the details in that 6 to 9 months and get the availability you're looking for is what we recommend. I was visiting with Maria and Susan earlier, and 2020 is a weird year. There's a lot of late bookings this year, but 2021 is going to be an even tougher year, because for so many of the ranches that experience so many cancellations, a lot of those cancellations just rolled over to 2021. So we have many ranches that already have a 75% full season for next year. But there's also ranches that are booking for 2022 and 2023. So.
Thank you. Susan, I'm good right now. If you've got one, actually, let's see. Yeah, Susan, go ahead. I'm checking to see if there are any more.
Yeah, we had somebody who asked whether or not this would be like a good mother-daughter type of vacation.
Yes, absolutely. So the really cool thing about Dude Ranches is the autonomy that comes with Dude Ranches. So the freedom to get to do and pick your own schedule is fantastic. And we have so many people that take skip gen travels, trips. We have people that take mommy-daughter trips. I was explaining to Maria and Susan earlier that we have a lot of ranches that do specialty weeks. And those specialty weeks vary each year. But the mommy-daughter trips, I think, is something that could come around, especially in these next coming years with everything going on. You know, the kids being in so many different programs, and depending on what happens with schools, all of that. So there are ranches that would be more than accepting to, you know, maybe if a group of mommy-daughters wanted to go, they could book the ranch out, and they could, you know, take the kind of ranch to themselves and run with that kind of week. Or you might see a specialty week come around. But they're perfect for literally any group: solo travelers, couples, you know, mother-daughter, father-son, bachelor parties, anything like that. Corporate retreats. These vacation destinations, and this just destination in general, is so flexible.
And one other question. How are Dude Ranches for destination weddings?
Fantastic. And I can speak to that personally. It's actually something we have. Dude Ranches have been you know, you look at any of these properties and they're absolutely phenomenal. Many of our ranches host weddings throughout the summers, usually in their shoulder seasons, especially the summer ranches, either in early spring or fall. But also to be able to have a wedding at a ranch is really nice, because you have everything in one spot. Your reception, your ceremony, food, accommodations, it's all right there. So definitely a destination to consider if you're looking for a wedding venue.
And it would be a lot easier getting the wedding license compared to doing out of country.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Do you have any others, Maria?
I've got one more. Do Dude Ranches have rodeo style activities?
Yes.
I know we had the list up, but I don't know if that person saw that.
They do. I don't think I have it on that list, but many ranches do have rodeo style activities. A lot of our ranches put on rodeos, either for their guests to watch or to be a part of, which is pretty neat. Or there's like arena games for the kiddos, gymkhanas, kind of stuff like that. But many of our ranches also in their locations, there is, especially in the summertime, there are weekly rodeos that happen in that area, and guests have the opportunity to go watch those as well, which is pretty neat.
And one other one, as far as the accommodations, if somebody wanted a glamping opportunity, is that available?
It is. We have probably 6 to 8 ranches that offer glamping opportunities, and those opportunities, range anywhere from, maybe a cattle drive and sleeping out under the stars, or actual glamping tents. Conestoga wagons have become a big thing in the last couple of years. We actually have a vendor that we work with that many of our ranches have some of their wagons. But yeah, glamping is definitely something you can find on every ranch.
Great. That's all the questions I have. Susan, any more?
That's all I have.
Perfect.
That
Well,
is it.
I have my contact information if anything comes up, or if you have any other information or questions, we are happy to answer them. Please feel free to reach out. And I know for a lot of the travel agents out there, if you get stuck kind of in this realm of trying to find a dude ranch for your clients, please do feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to help wherever we can.
Great. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us, Bryce.
We really appreciate it.
Great day.
Thank you.